Hey, it's Dan, and in this YouTube video, I'm going to be taking you through how to have more genuine, engaging conversations online using your social media platforms. Okay, I know this is something that people struggle with, find difficult. This is something that we've done for the last 6 years. This formula that I'm going to show you is super simple. It's based on 3 stages. It's called the RAQ formula. And in the next part of this video, I'm going to be walking you through how it works from start to finish, giving you examples, structures, flows, templates. This isn't a script. It's not a DM script for you to follow. It's for you to take, make it your own, and then go out there and find out what works for you. Now, as I say, at the end of this, in the description, you'll find the actual framework itself. So you can take it and get to work straight away.
This is the RAQ formula, something that I have built off the back of conversations online. So whether it's in DMs or through content or stories, wherever, right? So having a formula for this is really important because it will give you structure to work on, but also stops you from thinking that just because you're having conversations over social media, you're not like those conversations or the things that you get in your inbox, right? It's not the same. The spam you get, the cold DMs, that's not what this is. So that's why this formula was built off the back of years of having conversations and how they worked. So to give you a framework and a structure that you can use to build your own methods when it comes to conversing on social media. So let me get into it. RAQ stands for repeat, acknowledge, question. So repeat what the person has said, client, potential client, lead. Don't think of them as leads, think of them as people, right? Think, how can I repeat back so you show that you've understood, taken in, listened to what you said. Acknowledge it, so validate their thoughts and feelings, and then question, ask a question, ask something that makes sense as the next logical thing, right? This sounds really simple. It's just not done. It's not done enough. You would have had messages that have been sent to you where it's just not in this format. Even if someone reaches out to you and they are very kind of abrupt with everything and all that stuff, try and come at it from this angle as well, because I guarantee there are bigger impacts on that person. So repeat, acknowledge, question. The traditional approach, which is the stuff that I've been talking about, which you probably hate, is people who just jump straight into, hey, buy my stuff, or they just focusing on your offer, trying to get that person. As soon as you have a conversation, you're like, hey, they must sign up, they must sign up. It's not what we're looking for here. It sometimes feels generic because you're just seeing the same messages over and over again, or scripts are the worst, right? Because it's just like this generic script that someone's teaching and they just copy and paste. So don't use that. The framework that I'll show you doesn't work off a script. It's a framework to follow, and then you can build your own way of doing it. Okay, all of that traditional approach creates a resistance. Everyone is more skeptical, and then it also doesn't work. Right? So yeah, and in this approach, you're showing that you actually care, and you're in the business of coaching, and coaching is built on relationships. The potential first point of this relationship is this conversation. So think about it like that. Show that you care. You're listening. You build trust this way. It's natural. It's also leads to more engagement outside of this as well. Because if someone's engaging in your content and you reach out to them and say, "Hey, thanks, I really appreciate the engagement of my content," they're going to do more. Keep doing that. It helps with all areas of your business, your marketing, right? So here's an example, right? Ignore the fact, okay, you want to lose 20 kilos. That's just an example to give you an idea of how this works. So you repeat, that's awesome, you want to lose 20 kilos. The person's told you they want to lose 20 kilos. They already know, they go, oh, brilliant, cool. I love how clear your goal is. That's good. You acknowledge it. And then out of curiosity, what's your biggest challenge to losing these 20 kilos? Just makes sense, doesn't it? What are you finding difficult? I don't think that's very complex. I'm not using any crazy, weird messages. It's just a natural conversation that I feel has been lost sometimes in the noise of social media. So when questions come off abruptly, they put people off. Okay, if you are leading with stuff that is just very kind of short, to the point, like here's a link, book in, just not going to come across well. I like these phrases, and I use them a lot because I think they act really nicely to kind of bridge the gap to the next question or the next part of the conversation. curiosity out of interest, if you won't mind me asking, so what? So what is it? Just really nice ways of doing it. Don't feel like they're forcing people to do anything, and you can just think about the tone of the conversation and how these fit into it. Right? Open-ended questions and encourage responses. That's what we're looking for here. This is the formula funnel that I like to at least have in the back of my mind, because what can happen sometimes is you end up having messages back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then you end up disclosing to people for months, right, in the DMs. Or it's very short and then the person just doesn't reply because you're like, hey, here's my link, booking a call, and they don't do it. So with this, you don't have to do it exactly, but you can have 3 personal questions that aim to build rapport and establish the connection. So, okay, not jumping too quick to, hey, so what are you doing for training or whatever? Like, it's weird, right? Have some conversation. And also, at this point here, if it never gets to this part because it doesn't feel right, that's okay as well, all right? And then the transition question is how you shift the focus towards like health, fitness, whatever it is you do, right? And then the 3 fitness questions are what you use to then uncover the goals and the challenges and what they want. And then you can then go, here's the solution. Is it a call? Is it some information or whatever it is? That works as a really nice framework to not go on too long, but also capture everything you need. All right. So think about that when you're having these conversations. Definitely help me. And also, like I say, don't be put off if it stops here. Some people need to have more touch points and more conversations ongoing to then get to that stage, right? So here's a little bit of how it can work from a flow perspective in terms of like the opener, rapport building, transition, the goals, the offer, and then whatever happens after that. Okay. So this is just each part broken down into what can happen. And I'll show you the flow in a moment. So when you want to implement it in your business, you might have a team that you use for this. You might have other people who do this as well. So you can let them know. It's a really nice framework to be able to give them, or someone doing this in your business. And again, that's something you can learn through them. You might have templates for common scenarios that come up. So if you work with a similar kind of audience and they always come up with the same things, you've got similar responses that you can put up. Again, you can build your own. Role playing can help with this stuff. If you have someone in your business and you can just practice sending messages, you might want to do that. But also think about how you use this across all your platforms. And then with tracking, probably the easiest way to track stuff here is using the flag system. If you're using Instagram, you can go in and label them and then like mark them as someone you've had a conversation with. You can have spreadsheets as well to track this. We have a lead tracking spreadsheet, which I'll put with this that you can access. Again, as long as you're tracking it somewhere, because I guarantee within your business, there's conversations that you've not followed up on or that haven't gone to somewhere because of whatever, life, busy, something's happened. Guarantee it's in there. Or maybe not following a process like this as well. But then refine your approach based on the results you see from it as well. And this is what happens, right? When you start to put this in natural conversations that flow towards booking calls, your engagement within messages and also content goes up because your content, in essence, is doing a lot of this work for you. Your content is the opener, right? At some point. So if you go back to here, your content can be the thing that opens up conversation. Your stories can open up conversation. Your stories can build rapport. Your stories and the content can build rapport. So think about that when your content's doing this. You just have to give them the next step, right? So that's why content's important as well. But yeah, ideally what we're looking for here is you're demonstrating a genuine interest in the client, in your potential client's goals and challenges. This isn't something that we're just doing because it's a numbers game. And that's where people get it wrong, because they do think about it as, I need to message X amount of people per day, and then that will equate to this. It's not for me. I don't think it's for most people watching this, all right? So this is a different approach to do it. Let me show you the framework. So in here, we've got the formula, okay? And then we've got a bit of an example, right? So then we've got here, like opener, rapport, transition goal. So you can skip to each section if you want to use this. And then from here, so how to answer questions, as I just mentioned, out of curiosity, out of interest, make it feel natural. And then the message formula, which I've just gone through is here. So the opener, for someone who's engaged with a post, it is okay to do that. But if you've got the same people engaging in your content, that's a sign, that's a signal. Then reach out to those people. Tell them your thanks. Just show some appreciation. And then you can open up that touch point, open up conversations. It might not start straight away, but it might spark something later on. Okay, and it also shows that you care about people engaging in content, and that helps your business. Right, that's something to do. For someone who follows your page, you've got a couple of options uh, to help you split this up. Different options. If you've got people following your page, you can regularly reach out to people, and you can just wait for like someone who personally messages our page. Okay, for someone who's asked about coaching, really easy one. Okay, and then the report. So some ways to help build in rapport here. I've chatted with people into health and fitness, tell me a little bit about yourself, what you do for work. All right, cool. Again, make these fit your own style, tone, and language. Right? Don't feel you have to copy and paste this. It's about giving you the ideas, and then you go, hey, this will fit my style and the way I do it. And then you see if they reply back, you can do the next one, okay? And then the transition, out of curiosity, what else do you do for fun stuff? Do you like to work out, self-care, fashion, if you didn't know? I, that's a bit of a joke that I put in here for me, but you might change it and put something else. Um, I've got the little meme that I can use here, like self-care is my passion. I can kind of drop that in. Just that's my style, right? It might not be yours, but change it for that. And then the goal is, okay, what are your current goals right now? Easy, easy. This it's not fat loss related. Okay, use this script. This script is non-weight loss related. Okay, so again, we've built that in here as well for you to use. And then you just go back and forth, asking a few questions around the goals, really digging into that. And then the last part is to offer. It might be to offer a call, or you might have something else here that you want to do. It might be that hey, you want to check this YouTube video I've created, or I've got this amazing guide or this assessment that you can take, and it might be to get them to take another step closer to what you do. So it doesn't always have to be a call. We put that in here because that's like probably a common thing people do. And then here, if they say no, if they say yes. So this is where you can book in the call through links, or the easiest way, you can just say, I've got some time on this day at this time, and this day, this time, and then just give them options, and then you book it in manually, because guarantee it's much easier for you to book in and wait for them thinking that they've just ignored you when they're just busy and they haven't got around to it. And then you have to chase them up, right? Whereas you can just do it for them. So book them in. And then some objection handling here if you want them. I would say once you've booked them in, just send them a message to let them know. Wherever you've been speaking to them, send them a message because it just helps to keep that conversation going. And then you've got objection handling here, like price point that comes up. If it comes up at the beginning, just be aware of it. Like some people will openly tell people their pricing, and that's okay. I think it's good to be transparent, and sometimes you might not for whatever reasons. But if the first thing that comes up, think about what that signifies. They're thinking about it's just price comparisons, maybe. Okay, think about where that person's come from. If they come from seeing loads of your stuff before, they might be a bit more of a closer proximity to you. If they're completely cold, you've never heard from them before and asking about price, it's a bit of a red flag, right? So think about that. And then there's some more stuff where you can explain things to them in here. And that's pretty much it. Okay. If you've got more information, you can enter like documents here, web pages, all that stuff. So loads of different objections that come up, and then follow up. So I'd only send this a couple of times. Don't want to pester people and be annoying. I just let people go if they've not replied. People have got stuff on and you don't know what's happening in their world. But probably follow up like 48 hours later, 3 days later, something like that. Just see what's going on. And then if you've got someone who you know you spoke to and maybe it stops earlier on in the rapport builder or opener, if you stop there, then send them like this. Hey, what's happening in your world since we last spoke? Just to keep that conversation, see if it reignites a little bit. And that's it. That's a bit of a process to do. So like I said, it's not a script, it's not DM script, it's a framework for you to use to build out, to help you have more genuine conversations through your social media platforms without the ickiness or the feeling of like this being something that you shouldn't be doing, because you should be doing this, you should be having more conversations. That's part of what we do social media for. So if you have any questions on this, fire them over and I will see you in the next one.
And that is the RAQ formula. So now, like I say, if you go into the description below, you can grab your own version of this. And then I look forward to hearing all about how you start to use this to have more genuine, engaging conversations online. And also, if you have any questions on it at all, then just drop them at the bottom of the video below, and then I'll get some an answer as we go through. If you have found this useful in any way, please like it, let me know, because it gives me an indication to do more. And also, like leave a comment as well, because that way I definitely know. And if you've got any questions on it, like I say, just drop them in there, and I'll see you in the next one.